Okay, recording. Two announcements. First is Pumpkin Spice Shakeology is coming again. This was a one-time thing last year. I think it sold out in like 3 days. I don't know. It was like limited edition. They only made so much and it sold out like crazy fast. So, and it's really good. So September 3rd is when we can purchase. So put that on your calendar. The morning of September 3rd, you're going to want to place an order for that. And last year they only did packets, individualized packets. They didn't make a bag. And I don't know if they're doing that. Correct me if I'm wrong. I haven't heard about bag versus packets.
I can't remember, but I do know they're making a lot more than they did last year, which is really good because they sold out so fast and it was my favorite flavor easily.
Okay, cool. So I know that a lot of people like ordered a bunch of packets and used those packets to like, I think they like would sell them as samples or gave them away as like prizes in their challenge groups and that kind of thing. So September 3rd, pumpkin spice launch. And then we are running a diamond push group for our downline. And so we're super excited about this. Kate and I are helping run it. Basically, we're starting on Monday. It's a 5-week sprint, 5 weeks of dedicated, focused on growing our business, inviting people to the coaching opportunity to hopefully get as many people to hit diamond within 5 weeks. So we're basically running this group to do training calls and accountability check-ins. Every single week, we're going to have you guys put in your stats as to how many coaches, how many potentials you invited. It's going to be fun. It's going to be interactive. And it's going to be serious. So it's 5 weeks and there's a buy-in. So we want you all to have skin in the game. So to join the group, I believe we said $15 to join the group. So everyone's money goes in a pot. And at the end of 5 weeks, every single person who hits diamond will take the money and we'll basically split it up evenly. And the people who go diamond get to take the cash. So a little bit of skin in the game holds you extra accountable. Kate, do you have anything to say? Kate was in this group a year ago and it was super beneficial for her.
Yeah. First of all, I don't want people to be confused because our Beatnik upline is doing a diamond push group. This is different than that. We talked about joining that group, but we really wanted to make a separate small group for just our Thrive United downline, but then also Live Free. So Sierra's coach Julie, but again, not another massive team. It's just another team of like 100 or so people. And not even all those will be joining the diamond group. So it's like a $15 buy-in in the pot. Like out of that, it's going to be super beneficial. Like that's in itself a reason, but I was a part of a diamond push group last summer into the fall, and it was just really cool to meet other people that were running towards the same goals and getting to compare like what I'm doing, not in a bad way, but in a good way of what do I need to do? Like that girl's this close and that girl just hit it and she was in my position 4 weeks ago. Like, how can I get there? So definitely get in if you want to be serious about the business.
Even if you're not yet emerald, like you can hit emerald in a day or two. So even if you're not emerald yet, but you're serious about progressing in this business quickly, get in the group. It's going to be really helpful. Okay, so.
Sorry, Sierra. When did you say that started?
Monday.
Okay.
I think Tuesday we're going to post the first thing, but we're adding people now. So you can just get in there ASAP.
And I posted the group link in Thrive today. Okay, sweet.
Thank you.
All right, today's topic, I do not have a pretty PowerPoint, but I have notes, so take notes as I go. Tonight's topic is all about building your brand, not just a business. So definition of business, an organization that markets a product service, or opportunity. So my business is I'm a Beachbody coach or I'm an accountability coach. The definition of brand is the image and personality behind what the business offers. It's the beating heart behind the screen. So my brand is goofy, silly, dancing, fitness fanatic on a postpartum journey that loves Jesus, Christian rap, her hubby, and my new baby Navy. So that is what makes me me. Those are a few characteristics that is part of what makes my page and what sets me apart, from other coaches who don't listen to Christian rap. So another example would be a very different example would be our top coach of Beachbody, Ashley Molstead. Her brand is champagne drinking, F-bomb dropping, beauty product loving, crude sense of humor, spewing, self-love, encouraging wife, mom, dog mom. So very different from me, but it's what makes her her. Like, that is her personality. Those are the things that she loves. Those are the things that she shares about. And that is what sets her apart. So there are so many MLMs in the world, and there are a lot of Beachbody coaches out there. And if we were all posting the same thing, pictures of our Shakeology bag, sweaty selfies every single day, like, people would be able to pinpoint us right away, like, oh, that girl's a Beachbody coach. I kind of like it when I get cold messages like all the time from other MLMs who have no idea like that I'm in Beachbody, because I don't scream Beachbody from the rooftops. I'm not showing product images on my page because I'm not here to like push a product. I'm here to push my brand to attract people to me and my journey and what I'm enjoying and what I'm doing, to get them to join me on my journey with this type of lifestyle. So people will other MLMs will come to my page and be like, oh, you would be so great at It Works or Arbonne or blah, blah, blah. I'm like, thanks, but I'm already full-time with Beachbody. Kind of cool that you didn't figure that out, but at the same time, you should probably figure that out. So that is kind of the whole idea behind having a brand that speaks to you and your personality versus pushing Beachbody, pushing the programs. Yes, we're using those, and that is a very important part to building our business, and that is an important tool for us to move our business forward. But we don't want to use Beachbody's slogans or marketing graphics, because that's kind of the beauty of this business, is we get to make it our own. Beachbody might be the platform for us to be successful, but we get to shape that in any way that we want, by sharing the types of photos that we like, by sharing our lifestyle, by sharing how we incorporate the programs into our daily routine and whatnot. So that's kind of the idea of business versus brand. So just always remember that coaching is what we do, but it's not who we are. There's so much more to us than just Beachbody, right? So grab your pen and start thinking about what makes you you. Think of, those 5 things that we typically have you put in like the bio of your Instagram page. Are you a mom? Are you a dog mom? Are you a teacher? Are you, a pizza lover? Do you enjoy martinis? Like, balanced lifestyle. Like, what is it that makes you you? Do you like to go running? Do you like swing dancing? Are you into water skiing? Start writing down things that make you you, that set you apart. Maybe you're a military wife. Maybe you're a med school wife. Like, I connect with a lot of other people who have spouses in medical school. So start thinking about what makes you you. Write that down, because this is going to give you content to start posting about in your captions. Okay. Okay, looking at my notes here. So people can honestly like go and get Beachbody from anywhere. They can honestly just like go to Amazon and type in Beachbody and find somebody who's selling Beachbody stuff. So we want to give people a reason to come to us and get involved in Beachbody through us. So I start thinking about like, why did my clients sign up with me versus another coach? And usually people will say like, oh, well, you were really down to earth. Or I like how you share your devotionals in the morning. Like, I love Jesus too. So like, that was one thing that we had in common. Or somebody will say, oh, my husband's in medical school too, so I found you through that medical hashtag. Or I made a lot of connections when I was pregnant with other women who were pregnant alongside me, because I started using hashtags like 14 weeks pregnant, 20 weeks pregnant, and other women would search those hashtags and find me because they wanted to see what other women looked like when they were 20 weeks pregnant, right? So people will find common ground with you and will be drawn to you for a specific reason, and that's usually why we end up signing clients. Not always, it's not always going to be because, oh, you had an amazing transformation. Like that definitely can be a reason why people are going to reach out to you, is because you have a transformation and that's super inspiring. But a lot of the time it's because you had a transformation and because we have common ground. Okay. So another thing to think about sharing is, so your brand is your Instagram profile. A lot of your brand is aesthetics. And when people come to your profile page, we don't have a physical brick and mortar store. We have an Instagram profile, and people will judge you within 3 seconds of seeing your page. So start thinking about, how does my page look? Does it look aesthetically pleasing? Am I using common colors and tones throughout my pictures? Do I have a good variety of imaging, such as, they're not all sweaty selfies, or maybe they're pictures of, I can have some pictures of my baby, I can have some pictures of my dog, but it needs to be a majority of you. Some pictures can be close up, some pictures can be farther away. Like, mix it up. Go look at your Instagram profile right now and see like, okay, does it look balanced? And does it reflect my personality? Or so maybe you love cooking. Like, Brooke takes amazing food pictures all the time. And like, that is a solid like part of her brand, is she has got, meal prep down, and she's got making quick, easy meals down, because she's a mom of 2 young boys and she doesn't have a lot of time. So that is a big thing that she shares, is here's how I put together this awesome chicken dish, and here's a cute picture of it. So think about like what makes you you, and share those things, and make sure it's balanced with other things in your life too. Okay. So the other thing I wanted to talk about was, because your Instagram profile is your storefront, we have to make it look pretty, because people are going to judge you within 3 seconds. So are your photos eye-catching? I would say within the last year, coaches have caught on to this whole presets idea, Lightroom presets, to apply those to each of our photos so that our profile looks more cohesive and beautiful. And I know I've talked about this a while back, but something that a lot of us have done is we download the Lightroom app. It's free. And then go to Etsy and purchase a $3, $4 Lightroom preset. There's so many to choose from. There's a lot of beautiful ones. Pick one that you think will look nice with your photos. Purchase it, download it to the Lightroom app, and then every single photo that you take, you can take that preset and apply it to all your photos adjust it a little bit here and there if you need to. And then your whole page will look cohesive and beautiful and appealing to the eye. And so when people are scrolling through and see your page, they'll see that it's beautiful and be more inclined to follow. So that is a really important part to your brand. I just watched Ashley Molsted's training on this. And so she was sharing her page, and she uses a lot of like bright colors and pops of color with pops of like pink here and there because she loves the color pink. My preset is, I would say, mostly like warm tones. I actually kind of want to like go buy a different preset because I don't like it anymore. But everyone kind of like has their style. If you go to Kate Netton's page, hers, I love hers. Hers is like, works with blues and like warm tones really well together. So, but you can tell when you go to Kate Netton's page that she's using a preset to make everything look cohesive and beautiful. And that makes me want to follow a page. Okay. Next thing I want to talk about was we need to create fans, not just followers. Create fans, not just followers. So think about somebody in the Instagram world that you love following. Why do you love following them? It might be because of the content that they share or the family photos that they share or something. It's about them. It's all about them, and you're just like a fan and you like what they're sharing. So we want to like understand that we are the main subject of our page and own that, because people are coming to you because they enjoy following your feed, your content, your life, whether you've met in real life and are real life friends or not. So captions should evoke conversation. Captions should ask questions. The more you can get people to comment on your feed, the more Instagram will take your post and push that out to the rest of the Instagram world. So if you can evoke conversation, ask questions so that people can start engaging with your posts, that's always a great thing. In your captions, in the stuff you choose to share about, like let people know, let people into your world, let people see your personality. Are you a sarcastic person? Like be sarcastic in your posts. Use funny emojis. If that's not you and you're a little bit more like laid back, calm person, then like, just be yourself. But I knew that I was starting to come out of my own shell when people started laughing at my Instagram stories, or they would respond to some random story with the laughing face. And that's when I knew I was starting to be more of myself. I grew up and I was kind of like the goofy, silly person amongst all my siblings and my friends. Like my friends were either always laughing at me or with me, or we were just always laughing together because I'm just like weird. I talk in weird voices. I'm high energy, obviously. I talk lightning speed. And like that's just kind of who I am. And so as soon as I started embracing that and having fun on my Instagram stories, like picking songs to like go with my stories, or now I'm doing like music videos because I've always been a fitness fanatic. And so I like having fun sharing my sample moves. I knew that I was just like starting to be more myself when people started engaging back to me the way they normally would in person, such as like laughing, being lighthearted, whatnot. So it's going to take time to kind of break out of your shell. If you have not gotten on your Instagram stories yet and talked in a video to your Instagram stories yet, to your followers, I challenge you to do that within the next 12 hours. If it's not tonight, it needs to be tomorrow morning. Say something to them. That first time you get on your Instagram live stories as a video and talk to them, it's weird. You feel kind of tacky. You feel like you're talking to yourself, and maybe your heart's racing a little bit fast. But as soon as you get that first one over with and done, like it's the second one's not as scary, and the third one's not as scary, and then the fourth one is fun. And so and it doesn't have to be anything serious. Like that first one can just be something silly. It could be you talking to the camera with your child or of your dog. I don't know. It doesn't have to be serious, but get over that fear of talking to your Instagram stories, because when you start talking to them, that is when you start building trust, building relationship with people, whether you know it or not. I start talking with people and they're like, oh my gosh, I've been following you for a year now. I feel like I totally know you, even though this is the first time we've talked. Thanks. So I really appreciate your inbox message. And it's like they almost look at me as like, I don't know, like they're a big fan of mine, even though we've never talked before, because I'm so vulnerable and transparent on my stories and I talk on my stories. They feel like they totally know me. And so building relationships like that is going to lead to, you know, clients and customers and a successful business built on trust and like real relationships. So super important to get over your fear and you know, be yourself on your stories. Okay, other things you can talk about in captions. Who was the old version of you? What did they struggle with? How did they overcome that? What is your biggest excuse? Did you have a common excuse for not getting your workouts in, or a common excuse for, you know, giving into peer pressure with junk food or whatnot? Or maybe that's not you. Like, if you did have a big excuse, or if you did have a struggle, like how did you conquer that? Start sharing those vulnerable aspects of your life, because the more vulnerable you are, the more people will be able to connect and relate to you and trust you. Okay, the other thing is, this is kind of hard to do, especially when you're a new coach, but stop trying to connect with everybody. We have a niche. Everyone will eventually narrow in on their niche market, right? So whether you're a college student or a young professional, or maybe you're a young mom, when I was pregnant or now that I'm postpartum, a big niche of mine is now new moms. And so I need to, this is like something I've been challenged by, because I feel like I've not super zeroed in on a niche market. But once we start speaking directly to people who are very much so like us, those people will start coming to us. So don't feel like you have to serve all types of people. For example, my previous issue was binge eating and sugar addiction. And so when I started sharing frequently about that, like before I got pregnant, that was something I used to share a lot about. I connected with a lot of people who had those same issues, because they would reach out to me and be like, oh my gosh, I just read your post. That really hit home with me. And because we had that connection, it leads to relationship, it leads to trust, it leads to, you know, a customer relationship as well. So remember those 5 things about you. Talk about those 5 things. Be yourself. Talk to those people who have those 5 things in common with you, because those people are your niche. So for me now, one of those things is I'm a new mom. So new moms, all moms, young moms, middle-aged moms are now part of my niche market, because I can start sharing how I'm going to work on getting my baby on a schedule, and this is how I find times in my busy day to get my workout in and whatnot. Okay. So main thing is stop selling Beachbody and start selling yourself as your brand. The more you are passionate and shine your light about your journey and you make it fun, people are going to be drawn to that fire in you, in your excitement as you're on your journey, as you're doing your program. Your excitement and your joy becomes contagious, and it makes people want to keep coming back to your feed, because they're, one, entertained, your joy is contagious, and they are eventually going to want that same joy and excitement for life that you have. If you guys are in our MM100 Challenge Tracker app, a couple weeks ago, Lexi like gave me a shout out or something. And my big sister, this is the first time in 2.5 years, she has joined in on Beachbody and done a program with me. She is now in this group with us. She commented on that and she said, the reason I decided to join was because my sister has been doing these programs, and from doing these programs, she has gained so much more confidence and like joy for life that I wanted a piece of that too. When I read that from my big sister, I cried. I cried for 5 minutes. And I was like, oh, I'm making a difference. And I'm not only making a difference on like random people on Instagram, I'm making a difference in my big sister's life. And like that, I'm going to start crying now. But that was like huge because I felt like I'm finally breaking through, because you have to be consistent as crap in these types of things. So I hope that makes sense. We don't need to rely on Beachbody's, slogans and graphics and whatnot. Make that your own. A lot of you will see that we call Energize Go-Go Juice, or just pre-workout, or mom crack, whatever you want to call it. That's called creating curiosity marketing. So instead of saying, when I first became a coach, I was like, I'm drinking Shakeology. And so people started Googling Shakeology and would go buy it by themselves without realizing they could have come through me to purchase that. So that's why we use curiosity marketing. That's why we say, my shake, my morning shake, my superfood shake. And people will come to you and be like, oh, what is that? Or what mix are you using? And then boom, you're in a conversation with a potential customer. So create it your own. Call Energize whatever you want to call it. Call your shake whatever you want to call it. Call your program whatever you want to call it. But make it your own. Be excited to be on this journey. Get people to feel your joy for this lifestyle and invite them in to join you on this, to have this type of lifestyle, because we are showing them that it is rewarding. And when we are showing them that it's rewarding, they eventually will come want a piece of it. So that's all I'm going to say. We've got about 5 minutes left. Do people have comments or questions or anything to add? Oh, I'm looking at the chat box.
I would say as a new coach, just the biggest thing is to be patient with yourself, because I know I wanted to I would look at those feeds that I looked up to and really liked, and I just would want it instantly instead of really taking the time to just figure out me. Mm. And things come so much more naturally if you take the time to do that instead of freaking out about having the perfect page. Just take one thing at a time, practice that for a little while, and then keep adding to it.
Yeah. I'll still come across a top coach or whatever, and I'll like her caption and I'll screenshot it. And then later on down the road, I'll review it and be like, oh yeah, I was inspired by this topic, by this girl's caption. And I'll kind of tweak it, because just to help me get content and be inspired by other people's pages. But yeah, as far as taking quality photos, it's kind of a skill that you learn for sure.
I would definitely echo what Kate said too. Just, yeah, for me, I've been in this with Sierra for most of the time, but kind of phases of life I kind of went through. But I would say that the more you are just patient with it and really just trust the process and do the stuff, because I think we get so caught up in, doing all the pretties. Right now I'm okay, I should make my highlight reel actually look nice, because it's important. But when we stick to just doing the stuff, doing our crap, stuff happens. And you start seeing people. It's for me, it's been cool to start seeing people actually reach out and laugh at my dumb things, my pug that sounds like a pig. It will happen. Just trust the process.
Totally.
Yeah, I see a lot of people at work that like don't like or comment on my stuff. And then they'll be like, hey, I really liked your post about anxiety the other day. Or like, hey, you're killing it in your workouts. And I see they're watching all my stories and they're not interacting with me, but people will see you and they'll start associating you with that. And then they know that they can reach out to you if you're just consistent.
Yeah, don't be afraid to talk about it in real life. Michael just sold me to this girl, the lady that fit our tuxes. He's like, yeah, she's a coach. Do you want to work out? And she's like, yeah, I'd love to.
Yeah, it's like so easy. It's so much easier because you're like just in conversation with them and you're not like copy and pasting it, and you get to like see right through all their excuses that they type up because you can like notice that they actually want it.
Yes. Amen. Which is why I loved, Mandy, you talked about Roadhouse, like using that as your platform. I thought that was awesome.
Yeah, I really want to quit that job still, but
yes, I want you to too. But it was just an encouragement to remember, guys, it's okay to talk about it in real life. Like it does scare me. I told Elena this, like it does scare me telling people because everybody thinks, well, I'm just an ag teacher. That's what I'm supposed to do. But yet I have so many of my other visions for my life.
Yeah.
mm-hmm.
Awesome. Well, we've got less than a minute, so I just wanted to say thanks for jumping on. Hopefully this was helpful, and I will post a recording. All right.
Could you also post the Ashley Molstead training, Sierra?
Yeah, I can do that.
Thank you.
And get your booties in the diamond group.
Yes. Do it.
You have to answer questions, so don't forget that.
Okay, thanks.
Truth. Okay. Everyone have a good night. Bye.
Bye.